Guess what? They're starting to lift the bin. That's freaky. Sounds like it's just gonna fall apart when all the metal's like scratching on the concrete. And then all of a sudden it gets quiet and it just starts going up. We're inside this bin. Before they put the aeration floor in, I'm gonna take a 5-gallon bucket of tar and I'm gonna go all the way around the bottom seal and tar it. If some reason the concrete's uneven, or if the seams aren't quite very true on the bin, which shouldn't be the case, you'll have gaps where water can come inside the bin. When the water comes in and you kick the fans on, you're gonna have a whole bunch of moisture going into your grain, and that's not what we want to do. So before they put the floor in, this is the time to tar. All right, let's do this. Yeah. Good morning. They're just starting to raise the bin right now. It's kind of cool. Let's watch it. There we have it. They put the last ring on. Well, they're putting the last ring on, my bad. But they got it all the way up. They just got to finish bolting everything up, set it back down, secure it to the bottom of the floor, and then I get to tar again. But that was fun, and they work really fast. And it was really incredible to see how they just work together as a team. And if somebody's slacking, another guy comes over and picks up, and then vice versa, and they get the job done. And it's a beautiful, absolutely beautiful day to get this done. A little warm for them, but it's gorgeous. Let's keep watching. They're getting ready to put all that aeration tube and the unloading tubes in, so they're measuring everything to make sure that it's all going to work, everything is going to match up, and there's going to be no surprises, hopefully. As you can tell, what they did is they've actually marked off all the floor where each chair has to go, and they're starting to set it up, kind of like Lincoln Logs or Legos. Looks fun. But yeah, they'll put that all in, get that all secure, we'll bring in that unload tube, set it down, they'll cut a hole for it, and then we'll put through, anchor it where it needs to be, and then we have to cut a hole over here for the fan so that we can get aeration underneath the floor. When they get that all done, then the floor goes in, and yes, this is fun. It's about that time to start tarring. Does anybody got feathers? Because I'll need them afterwards. All right, number 2, let's do this. They went ahead and cut a hole, put that fan shroud or the vent assembly, or what do you want to call it, into the bin. It's secure. So then we can take the fans and put it on there and bolt them up, except for there's a problem. Somehow we're missing the brackets that hold that fan onto the bin, which is kind of inconvenience, but it's not a big deal because they're going to get them shipped here. And honestly, with all the miscellaneous pieces and parts that you have to put these bins up, it's amazing that they get everything correct as they did. So that is a very small problem to have, and we're not worried about it. But that's pretty sweet. That's done. They're cutting a hole over the other side so that we can take the grain out of the bin, and you can put the unloading tube in, and they'll secure that up. And then on the other bin, they're cutting a hole for that vent as well. And yeah, this is coming along pretty fast. And they've already got this ladder system. Well, technically it looks like a ladder, but they call it chairs because the floor is actually going to sit on it, which makes sense why you would call it a chair. But if you look at it from an angle, it looks like ladders. That's pretty sweet. So they can't really do any more on this because they got to wait for the unloading tube, which is going to come in from an angle right here. Then they can build the rest of the chair system, and then they'll take the floor, put it on top, cut it to the length, cut the edges, and then secure it down. And this bin should be complete. Pretty close to complete. That's pretty sweet though. So when I was tarring the other bin, I made a mistake. I went all the way around. I did not stop on the areas that they need to cut a hole. So loud. Anyways, I did not stop where they need to cut that hole. Anyways, I did not stop where he's going to cut the hole at. So they had to kind of get their hands into sticky tar to access those holes, and that was totally my bad. I felt pretty bad for that. This one, I didn't make that mistake. I actually left that spot open. I left this spot over here open so that they will not get too sticky on. When they finish cutting it out, I will come back with tar that little area, and they can start assembling the floor in this one. So I got done unloading all the trailer. They're putting the aeration floor in. I don't need the trailer or this pickup there, so I'm gonna take it back to the farm. It's hot out, and it's beautiful out. And I'm ready for a nap. I'm sure those guys are too.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. Oh.
Well, guess what? We just finished the bins. They just packed up all their stuff, cleaned up all the stuff around the bins. We had buckets of parts left over because we found a more efficient way of putting them back together. So we don't need all that stuff. No, they gave us a lot extra, which honestly, for a company to give us more parts than we need so that we can finish and get the bins up, that's all very helpful. Instead of adding the exact amount and find out that we don't have enough, that could be an inconvenience. But no, this was great. We got these done, and that crew was very helpful. Well, it hasn't rained yet. There's a 100% chance of rain today, and they're talking about a 1/4 inch, and then tomorrow they're talking about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch, and then the next day, so they're saying up to 1.5 inches to maybe 2 inches, depending on how it rains. But it hasn't rained yet. There's a little breeze right now. It's kind of cloudy out here, and as you can tell, hopefully my voice is not too crackly because of the wind. But let's take a look at these bins real quick. They did a fantastic job on these bins. They're Westeel bins. They are 36 diameter bins. And they've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rings to that bin. So they're about 24,000. If you didn't have the aeration floor, you're probably closer to 25,000 bushel bins. So we've always kind of called them 25,000 bushel bins, but we really don't know until we actually fill them up. But I think we need to take a stroll up those stairs. Let's go. There we have it, guys. We're sitting here on top, and you can go up to that bin, or you can go up to that bin, depending on your choosing. They got an access hole right here that you can open up, and the same thing on the other side. And I don't know about you, but we're pretty high up here. These are probably the highest things that we have on this farm, and this is just awesome. I mean, this is pretty incredible to see this. These guys did a fantastic job in installing these bins, putting them together. I was alongside them, working with them. They probably didn't like that, but it was fun, and I appreciated it. And yeah, this is just absolutely crazy, guys. What a blessing this is to our farm, and we are so grateful to have this. So yeah, let's get back down. I'm going to show you inside and show you the bin sweep and how it unloads, and you guys will get to see that in the future, but it's new to us and we're excited about it. And this is a very, very nice staircase. I love it. Just walking right down, and I'm not tripping and falling. Let's take a look inside this bin. Wow. This is a big bin. To us, this is a very big bin, but there's other people that have some massive bins. The crew that came here and assembled this, they said they did a 60-foot diameter bin. They said it was massive. The roof alone probably could have held me. But yeah, that was pretty fun to see this thing going up. So what they have going on here, which is actually, in my opinion, is a really simple, neat design. They've got a couple gates here on the floor, so you can take out the grain and it'll suck it down. But if you think about it, if you just suck down the center, you're gonna have a V coming out of the bin, which means it's gonna cover up the door. Well, they have this bin sweep that'll sit behind the door, and you just kick on this auger, you throw a lever, and you can throw on that other auger. So you suck out the bin first, then you turn that one on, and it drags it down, and it's actually got a little wheel here that will be powered with a gearbox, and it just slowly rotates and turns, and it drags that entire bin sweep all the way around. It just pulls it in. And then you just come in here with a broom, and you sweep it into these little holes here, and you're done. I mean, that is simple and safe. They've got this really nice kick plate here. It's a very heavy design. You're not gonna get harmed by it if you're not, I mean, this is probably one of the safest bins for us to unload. And that's pretty sweet. Now the unload auger coming outside the bin, we have electric motor here, which actually, if you'd like to, you can convert it to hydraulics, it looks like. At least that's what it looked like in the manual that I was reading. Whew, that's a scary thought, me reading. Anyways, we have electric motor. We'll run 3-phase to run the fans and these electric motors. And then what they have is they've got a couple levers here that will turn on your bin sweep and open the gates, and so you can control everything out here and you don't have to go inside the bin. We put these two unloading augers very close together, as you can tell, and the reason for is you put the auger in the center, then you just barely move it to one side and you barely move it to the other side, instead of having it on the very front of the bin where you got to pull it out and then you got to move it way over here and pull it back in. This, we feel, is going to be a little bit better safe and environment. The other thing too is if we're driving equipment back and forth, we don't have those augers, unloading augers, sticking out where they could get damaged, because we don't want that. If snow gets built up here and we need to haul, well, it's really snowy and drifts, we can scrape with the tractors and we don't have to worry about hitting those things. So that was a good option for us. But yeah, this is fantastic, guys.
those beautiful? Man, new galvanized steel looks amazing. Wow. So right here's 50,000 bushels of Westeel iron capacity. And we are thrilled to have it here on the farm. Up until now, that was the largest bins on our farm. Those are just under 8,000 bushels each, like 7,800 bushels. These are 25,000 each. They make bins way bigger than this, but these are gigantic for this area. And for us, they're huge, and we absolutely love them. Can't wait to use these unloading systems on this. There's a reason we didn't put the 45 on here. A lot of guys will say, well, how can you get an auger into that? We're gonna dig out around and make this a little bit more accessible, put an auger underneath, but anytime you do an angle, there's a universal joint and there's wear spots, and we opted for this because we feel like that's more reliable. Inside, it's just so beautiful. Let's go inside. Oh, wow. It's just so nice. This is the shiniest it'll ever be. Here on out, it's just gonna get dustier and dustier and dustier, but it's gonna look gorgeous regardless, so we're really thrilled. Thank you, AGI, for this and for helping us get this together, and thank you, That Guys Fab Shop, for hooking us up with these bins. These Westeel bins are gonna be a great addition to the farm. We're gonna fill them. In fact, we're probably gonna need a lot more than just these, so we'll see how things go, but we'll get the crop in. And by the way, guys, our crop is looking fantastic. To our standards, fantastic. We've had a whopping 6 inches of rain this growing season, and that's actually quite a bit considering last year we had a total of 5, and we're not even done with the season yet. So, crop's looking fantastic, and we're gonna be using this bin, but we have a problem. I don't think our grain auger is long enough to reach the top. We'll talk about that soon. Okay, let's go. Time for the next episode in a few days. Take care, guys. God bless. And we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.